real simple. We're just going to jump into it. Okay, be careful not to turn this into a sparring drill or into some brada. It's very easy to sort of go there because of our training. Right? So, give me a strike. So what's going to happen is he's going to give me a strike, and I'm going to stop it about 6 inches from me before it attacks. Okay, before it penetrates. So what I'm going to do is basically he's going to strike. I'm going to block, move, and return. Don't block it. Another 6 inches from him, and then he's going to go. What he wants to do basically is get to an open side of me, and what I need to do is I need to block with what I've been given. So I can't move ahead of time. So it's almost like freeze tag in that way. Once it's his turn, I stop. From here, I'm going to block and return. His turn. Each particular time, we're attempting to find advantage in what we're doing. We've gone to locking mode, but this also works with striking as well too. So the idea here is to actually move around, circle, but also, if you can, find unorthodox things as well too. So really sort of go out of your comfort zone and don't stay in your little rectangle if you can avoid it. Okay. Try that. We're going to do it empty hand first, then we'll switch to stick and also knife as well too. All right, go ahead. I'll come around, work it out. Find partners. Some more creativity. So the point of the exercise, again, is to find creative motions. Right? So we have our established techniques. So we have our established stuff, which is well and good. But there are times where we're off position and we have nothing. Hands are bound, whatever have you. Right? Dealing with somebody else. I've had it happen when I worked as a bouncer where you've got one guy here, somebody punches there, what are you going to do? Sometimes that's all you got to block the punch coming. So this exercise sometimes is designed for that type of thing. So once I'm in here, I want to take a second to really look at my options to build something else. What's easy is if you're properly here, that's easy. If you're FMA, that's easy, etc. So but from here, the reality is that the block isn't long. If I can just do that much, I've taken the punch out of my way, and I'm out of danger. Not to mention, I've got a nice return here as well too. So what you want to do basically is give yourself a chance to work on something unusual. Right. Even from here, when I'm locked up, well, I still have options, especially because he's not putting the lock on yet. I can still work my way out of this. Once it's slapped on, well, your options change, but it's a different exercise. So here, basically, if I take off the slack of the lock itself and move my feet, there's something else. But I have to move my feet and I have to relax my body. If I start thinking like a martial artist too much, I lose all advantage. So you have to think outside of your comfort zone. Yeah. Even there, wait, stop the switch. I want to switch. That's nice. Yeah, stop it there. Okay, even here for that matter, I'm not going to get you acrobatic because there's a nice return from here if I want to. Get you old. All right. But just the same, if the sweep is taking me someplace, all I have to do is grind it in, and there's my next technique. So think about it that way. One more time with somebody else, find a new partner, then we'll switch it up a little bit.
Does it change if they come at you with a banana or anything?
Well, we'll find out, right? Food fight next! All right, go ahead, guys.
Sure, why not? Thank you.
Want to go? So basically the same thing?
We have certain Filipino martial art instincts, right? We see a one coming in. This is exactly what we want to do first. So, we're going to combine our knowledge of using a weapon with the exercise we just did, which brings us into a certain level of unorthodoxy. Right? So, just red strike. So, same thing, person's going to stop where they're going to stop on the strike. They're about 6 inches away. Okay? So, my thing is to sort of stifle my instinct to immediately return or disarm or whatever else I'm going to do. Give myself a second and then go. Good. So automatically, I want to block this, but really what I'm going to try and do is find something else, find another alternative for the exercise itself. All right? So, all right. How often do we deal with this in a screamo, right? Not too often.
Sorry.
Nah, she always
So ferocious. I'm scared of her.
So, working. All right, so basically now it's going to have to cause something else to have happen with my technique itself. So here, I'm caught. Right? There isn't much I can do with my weapon itself if it's down in this position. That's why I freeze, because it's going to force me to come outside of my bag now. Right? So even from this, like, what am I going to do? What's the best option I have? Well, there's several, but for now, I'm just basically going to roll the stick over the top and return. Now, if I don't move my feet, sorry, that was lousy. I'm not going to be able to do much in terms of the exercise itself. Now, you got to be careful not to turn this into sombrata. Once again, it's going to be real tempting. Sticks are going to want to fly because of the nature of what we do, right? Okay, so guys, try this out, experiment, find something, and see what you come up with.
Careful with the sticks flying at your head.
Come on, partners. Watch real quick.
Favorite tactics.
So same idea, guys. I'm gonna have to basically find two options. Don't move. That's really tempting, I know. You really gotta catch it right there. Go ahead. So same thing. This is at the point where in which it's too late for me to return or block with the opposite weapon. What do I have? What's my, as you say in Dungeons and Dragons, if you ever played, nerd stuff, a saving throw. Right, it's last minute you see the poison, you spit it out, that type of thing. It's too late for anything else. So what I need to do here, basically, all I got is to get the hell out of the way. Right? But this is one of those unorthodox and screaming maneuvers we don't talk about. It's not in the DVDs. Just do that. Same thing here as well. Scoot back, return. Okay? Too late, I'm already caught. What do I have? What's my last second thing I can possibly do? Boom. Okay, you guys get the point. I can go on. All right, why don't you partner go, work it out. Thank you.
I do my thing.
Same time. Go ahead. All right. Yeah, yuck, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
This is actually valid as well too. Use of practice that I keep down here. Anyway, so in this particular case, all right. Too late. What do I have? Only thing I can possibly do is get out of the way. So these two people are going to attack. I can actually attack anybody I want, but only one strike. So move here. Now he has to block. He has to attack as well too. Go ahead. Woo! Nice.
Real quick.
Oh, love it. Too much loss on this one. So, yeah, that has to be. I can't do anything with it as well too. To that point. Okay.
These guys done this before.
Yeah, pretty much. You can tell, right?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that's on the right side of the law or not.
That's their nighttime job right there.
Woo, good. Nice. Where's yours? Oh, you're there? Okay, good. All right. Well, this is a little difficult, so we're going to have to go through this way. Don't slap it on too hard, guys, because then I can't have anything which turns into a fight, right?
All right. I thought you could do a flip.
Yeah.
I wish.
Make it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so. You guys get interested here. Okay, you guys got the idea. So really work with what you got. You're going to get tied up. That's good. Don't lock the person down, though, or else really they can't do much. Right? So it has to be right before, just like the strike, it has to be right before. So if you're in a lock, you can't do it there. It has to be here. Give them a chance, or else the exercise doesn't work. It's creativity for that particular moment before it gets slapped on. Your last second maneuver. All right, 2-on-1. Work it out.
Oh, okay.
Where's it go? Okay. Let's see here. Vermont. Okay, just we're about ready to wrap up, but just a couple points of order when it comes to the exercise. So it's much easier because of the way most of us train. For us to start turning this into whatever it's going to be. All right, so that actually is sort of contrary to the exercise a little bit. We sort of have to keep that awareness to us, but not really feel like we're in an actual fighting situation. It's a laboratory, it's an exploration, right? So it's not actual application itself, but you might find pieces of technique that work into application for you. I've literally been saved just by that before. Nothing else, boom, just that. That was enough to block whatever was coming my way. Even here, boom, just that much was enough to save you. That's not typically taught in orthodox martial arts though. In progressive martial arts, not typically taught. We like clean, simple solutions to things. So, but reality is that we might not always be presented with that. So, once again, I pause just to survey what's going on and use what's given to me. Even if it's the empty hand. So the idea basically is to make them work and to move in a particular way that's to my advantage. You struck me like 3 times, brother. Right, thank you. So I'm going to allow myself to feel the position, feel the pressure, whatever it may be, right? And then use that. I don't always have good options for things, but the best I can do basically is mitigate how I'm being struck. So if he's cutting here, basically to move myself that way to block here is probably the best thing I have. I might get cut, but I'm not going to get gutted. So again, that might be all I have. But I don't care if I wind up in a worse position because this teaches me something else. So the idea is, if necessary to gain advantage, my idea is to deal with what's presented to me at the time, no matter what it is. Nice. So I'll purposely put myself in positions, but I wouldn't necessarily use multiple opponents. You strike here, right there. There's your strike. Put it here. Yeah, don't fall. Go ahead. Whatever it is. So again, difficult, but not necessarily impossible to deal with. I might get cut, but again, how bad do I want to get cut? All right, good. All right, we have a couple more minutes. Find new people. Work 4-on-1.
These are my people.
I found that there are 2 kind of disarms. There's a leverage disarm and there's a destruction disarm, sort of like a shocking kind of disarm. This involves hitting ligaments or points which cause the hand to open just enough that a good slap or other type of destruction is going to send the weapon out. All right? Just one point. Okay, just here. Okay, let's just say that this is happening. We're going to do now. So, what I want to work on is how to deal with this. This happened to a friend of mine one time, and this is pretty much what he did. Right? From here, basically, he slipped just slightly, and he hit like a door knock right into the forearm. Other hand, boom, slapped right there. In and out. Okay? So what I want to work on is some of those type of destruction disarms. But on top of that, I want to follow through. Whatever your follow through is, that's fine. You can do whatever you want to do. The reason why is that just because I've taken the arm out doesn't mean this person still isn't in the fight. A lot of times we forget we still have an opponent in front of us. So, let me break it down a little closer. Okay, so 1 hit. Sometimes this is enough. The knife might go flying out. Okay? I'm going to come over the top, backhand to here. Even if I miss, still, I've got it. Okay? 1, 2, follow through. All right? Again. too. And I don't care what your follow through is. Whatever your style dictates, whatever you know, that's absolutely fine. I can find a million of them from there. The entry is already there for you. The person's already threatening. This is a static response. This isn't a thrust or anything else. This is just, hey, what are you going to do? Boom. Boom, boom. Ow. Lost my glasses. All right, let's work that. I'll come around to help out. Find a partner.
No. It just, my brain's kind of like a movie theater and stuff streams in from out,
Same here.
trailers,
I understand.
you know.
I understand. A little fast editing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's work out the same thing. Let's work with a leverage disarm within this as well too. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, from this particular spot, notice that I'm turning 90 degrees. All right, in full circle, we like to have this for awareness from part, but also it's basically my attitude to the weapon for the disarm. 1, 2, 3. All right, from here. Take the disarm. Whatever you're going to do. Alright? So, when you do this disarm, if you're just trying to press down on the knife, that's not going to do it. You're going to have to get control of the wrist, up, whatever it's going to be. Now, this happened when Cisco and I were nice party one time. I grabbed his knife and just did this. He said, "Man, you grabbed my knife." I said, "It's right here." I know if it's that close, that's fine. But just for demonstration purposes. Alright, so now obviously the same thing is not going to work. Right? All he has to do is here, and I'm in a bad position because he's in closer. He's like, "Hey man, now you're in trouble." Okay, so what's the closest thing to him is here. Right? So basic Filipino hands, right? Well, a lot of styles. Right? So what I want to do first thing is bring the hand up, come off line, turn on the 45. Destruction at the bicep. All right? Here, sensitivity, boom.
Okay.
There. All right? Hit in, hammer fist, right to the base where the muscles connect.
I know she's going to hurt that.
Boom. Bam. Right there. I'm just going to do that just for now, okay? Again, turn, boom. There. You're going to have to grab at the wrist. Control. Alright? Try that. I'll add something onto it. Thank you. First thing that, really, if I'm stepping off and trying to do it at the same time, I've got issues. Okay? That's all the time it takes for him to say, "Oh shit," and pull back and I'm gone. So really, first thing that has to happen is here, boom, then turn into it. It's one motion, but really the first motion is here. Right? It just says scratch your head. Right? Boom. Boom. There. Okay. Now, from here, yeah, there are a lot of disarms that we have. What I want to do is I want to follow through to a complete takedown. Right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap into what's called a Shihonage. From here. Notice his body. Okay? I grabbed, emphasizing. Mike brought this up. Mike Butts. Emphasizing the middle finger in the wrap. Okay? Turn, 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 turn. Switch. Underneath. Don't go down if you don't want to. Talk to your partner about that part. Right? And from there, you got it. Now for me, so, here. When I'm here, notice the proximity of his elbow to his body. I'm not doing this out here. I lose leverage. The closer I am into him, the better. Right? Step, step, step. Here. Now, what's also important is that I don't do this. I call this lunge of bridges falling down. Or I step on a dime. Do that. Move your feet. Step through, bring it over your head. Turn. I'm still locking the wrist. From here, if you want to, that's absolutely fine. Disarm. Personally, if I'm doing this, boom, all the way down to the ground. The way I feel about it is I want the earth to open up and claim him. I'm bringing the planet up to him, hitting him with the whole planet. And again, here, turn. Once I get halfway across his body, moving through my center, I transition, other hand over the top. I step, here, and then there's an easy disarm if you want, or bring the person down. Any follows, I don't think there's any followers here really, but if you like to fall, go ahead, talk to your partner again. All right, work it out. You can be nice about this, or you can be not so nice about it. Depends on what it is. If this is a drunken friend who's taking things too far, maybe you don't want to dislocate everything up to his neck. So there's a safer way to do it, and there's a more dangerous way to do it. If I really want to, boom, that's it there. Break, break, break. All right? If I want to go for safety, I come here and emphasize just the wrist and the elbow perpendicular to the ground. However, if I want to be nasty about it, I'm here instead. All right? Bring the elbow more parallel to the ground. So again, work that out a little bit. Work it out with somebody new. You can feel here, and you can also feel here. Some styles do it just this way. Some styles do it just that way. Depends.
That was a lot nastier.
It's a little nastier, yeah. However, this is more direct to the ground. Depends on what you need. Right? For this, a person is definitely going down. I don't care who you are, if I'm in position correctly. For this, a person, it's going to break. They might not necessarily go down though. And you got to be careful with the other hand. If I'm here, the other hand's out of play. If I'm here, notice the other hand's a bit more in play. So, it's choices.
But that does feel kind of weird on your shoulder.
Yes. Now your shoulder might separate. However, there are certain people who don't care if their shoulders separate. But you can't. What they can't control though is physics.
Yeah.
Once I'm past their center of gravity and they're going down, boom, they're down. Right? Then I'm in a better position. However, there are people, even if they're drunk, who don't care. They're just going to hop over the top and clock you. So you have to make a decision as to what's going to happen. And it depends on how good you are at it too. Right? So you deal with a lot of drunk people and you work security, you see these things. You see a lot of weird stuff that they never cover in a dojo or a school.
Walls.
Walls, curves,
Bring them into walls.
cars,
Yes.
Things like that.
Bleacher
Drunk
seats, poles.
I've seen people punch people by literally just jumping up and boom, down, like a fish coming out of water.
Yeah.
Right? So that could happen in this particular case. In fact, that is a defense to it, just jump over the top. All right, work it out. New partners, go. Just to show real quick here, okay? So there are lots of other things that can happen here as well too. So it's up to your particular imagination and your particular style. All right. So there are nice ways of getting it done, and there are not so nice ways of getting it done. You might just use pieces of it. It might not be the whole sequence. Right? You might not need the whole sequence. However, it's important to practice the whole sequence so you have it. Just like any other technique. Our entry is not always guaranteed, but we might find ourselves in the position anyway where we're here. However you get there is how your style practices. That's absolutely fine. All right, but real situations are unpredictable, and you find yourself in situations, and all of a sudden, something in your body or your training recognizes where you are, and that's where you take it from. All right, that's why we drill. Not so it can happen just exactly like the drill, but so that those aspects of the drill come out when real technique is necessary. Okay, so boom. This can also be here as well too. Right, an elbow destruction. That's really nasty. Boom, here. Same set, right? Also, there as well too. However, this causes different things to happen because my position is now a little bit different. Okay? I'm a little more 90 degrees to him. So I might have to take something else as I go. From here, right, there's actually a break right here. This could be enough. Shorinji Kempo, they have a throw right here. Right into the person. Never saw it before until I had a girlfriend who's a black belt in style. They would come in, throw right there. Whoa, you can stop there? I had no idea. So even if I'm coming through here, it's another destruction down. Boom. Okay? Any point at which I can take the knife and take them out. So your disarms are everywhere. Right here. Huh? The idea is to be sensitive and not to be locked into any one particular thing. Sorry? I was trying to move back. I was trying to grab there.
I just go with the energy. That's my
okay. So, boom, boom. Whatever happens, here. Break there. Okay? break here or here, at which point the knife is available to you. Break and take it, whatever it's going to be. Also, if I need to, I can step completely out with it to here. Then disarm. Okay, any questions, guys? Any questions? All right, that's my time. My customer next. Thank you, guys. Oh.
Should have heard what he was saying about you yesterday, dude.
It's okay, man.
Moms, and I mean, he was really going off.
I called him up.
Yeah.
All right, let's work on some empty hand stuff, okay? It's gonna be a hook punch here. Okay, real simple. We'll start up here. All right. Everybody has some variation of this. Basically, it's a variation of the inside sweep. Okay, slap, check, over the top, return strike. Okay. We'll work off a few things off this. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, check, hit. I like to go. It's called a shuto, knife hand. Boom, off the side of the neck. It's actually a knockout blow. Be careful of your partners. You know, it's big enough to safety. Boom. There. Right. Again. Cross block. Chuck over the top. Hand comes back for chamber. It's a stick I can't clear, but my hand can clear over the top. So stick can clear down below. Right. Again. Hey. Last time. Check here. Hit. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's just add into this. Okay, a couple of points here. When I'm doing this, I'm not standing in front of a person right here. Okay? If you notice, I'm angling. Boom. Here. I'm on a 45. My weight shifts slightly backwards, maybe 60-40. I'm not standing here. My knees are relaxed. Very important to have good mechanical posture. Boom. You can see I'm right on top of him as a result. If I'm too close, I'm smothered. I got to go into something else. All right? You okay? Bill me. AC can't wear those in the dojo, right? So, if you notice here too, my escape routes are already planned. I'm lining up for other things. Here. Couple points. When I do the check, I can also stretch the arm out. In fact, this is what I want to. So I'm almost in effect pulling him into me and then controlling the arm. Because this turns into other things afterwards. Good morning. He's got that kind of Aikido experience, so I can do that to him. Okay, so let's change this up a little bit. Same entry. 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's do 3. We're going to come in elbow this time. So I'm going to slide in a little bit closer. Here. Okay? Now watch. Secondary elbow. I'm going to step out slightly, turn my hips. Boom. Right. 1, 2, 3. Turn out. If I try and do this, obviously pointless, right? I have to give myself some room to operate. Boom. There's my escape. Get the hell out of there. Because if you survive that, you don't want to fight him anymore. Right. 1, 2, boom. There. Turn. Haymaker. Escape. Alright, so I first. Here. Turn. Out. Alright, work it. And there it is. Alright, important. Okay, one more time. Let's add something else to this. 1, 2. What I'm going to do now, don't throw the person. I'm going to step behind him. Take him out that way. Take him down with you. Forget that, man. He's just a big ass.
Can you do it again?
All right, go again.
One more time, like 5.
You want that to speed?
Do we have full speed?
Full speed. Okay.
I want to really see what it looks like.
Give me a real punch this time. Man. All right. I won't throw you this time. Bam! Here. Okay. What's happening is I'm lowering my base and stepping behind him. There's a wedge here. This is where he's going to go over, right here. If he doesn't go over, I really don't care. Look what I've got, everything up and down his body. So if I'm stuck here for some reason, I'm just going to go onto other things. Boom. Boom, right? Up and down his body. If I need to take him out, though, yeah, here, boom, and down. As long as you keep your base low. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back like steps behind. There we are. Take the person out. They're already kind of loopy anyway. It won't take much at that point. All right. Any questions? All right. Try it. I'll help out. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. So a couple things come up sometimes when we do this. All right. Can you give me? Just stand still and punch me back. That's it. So what happens if I go into the technique and his front leg is forward? Okay, instead it says, wow, I'm sorry, he's crossed, not his front leg is forward. So I'm here, all of a sudden, I'm not in position, right, for the final takedown. Well, you have a couple of options. One, you can simply just switch to here. That's completely valid, just to change it up. Two, what's also easiest is to take the sweep here. What you need either which way, right, here is your hips, or else it doesn't work. In fact, technique does not work without your hips. You have a little bit of advantage with a knife, not using your hips only because that's enough to cut somebody. Empty hands, well, find me a boxer who's using his hips someplace. Right? Find me any kind of striker at all who wants to develop some level of power. If this isn't open to me, fine. Use your tools. The person gives it to you. And this just might come out. I can't necessarily go for anything in the middle of a confrontation. That's why we train. What comes out is what's going to come out. If I find myself here, well, there it is. Boom. That might be all I need. See how he's going? That's all it takes for him to go down at that point. So, if I need to, switch up. Or, in. Sweet. Good. So let's try that. So what's going to have, the person's going to give you a cross at this point here. So I'm not in an exact position. Try both. Try coming in here and sweeping. Careful your partners. Not everybody knows how to fall. Right? Or let's change it up. Here. That's a huge movement. We're going to take somebody down at that point. So I'm in the finger here all of a sudden. At that particular spot there. So there's that blitz that happens. Last time, boom, boom. So either here, during the sweep, or boom, switch it up, here. All right. Number 30 does not get that reference, I guarantee you. Hey, George. Let me use you.
Yeah, be the fun to wipe.
Exactly. Gotta get some diversity in the mix. Okay, so, just to recap a little bit, just to give you guys some ideas. When I work, there's a few things that I'm keeping in mind. One is that I'm going based upon what's presented, not based upon what I want to do. To enforce my will upon a situation is a very particular set of circumstances. That's when I just need to blow through somebody and get the hell out of there. I don't care what they're going to do. Some styles work off that. It's completely valid. Okay? For full circle, right? It's more that what is best to do at that particular moment. I'm not guaranteed exact positioning. Now, there's some people I find were here, more so. All of a sudden, coming in for hitting the femoral doesn't work as well. So I'm saying just go with what's presented here instead. Right? So I like a nice punch, too. People say, how do you work and you don't spar? He said, well, this is a real punch I got to block. You get so used to committed punches that an actual untrained punch doesn't feel like much half the time. Right? At black belt level in the dojo, this is like a punch you have to block. No way around it. And you become very used to, boom, taking that, bam, and returning the energy. If I work with real energy, then I have options to actually return real energy. Give me just a ring. Right? So that doesn't give me much to work off of, right?
Oh, hey.
It changes things, right?
Girl pride.
Yeah, exactly. Just, so I'm like, no. Punch me. I asked her to punch me. It's your opportunity. But, exactly. See? Changes things up. Boom. Now I'm presented with different options here. Boom. That way instead.
Yeah.
Notice he falls there. The technique, structure remains the same for this particular concept of technique. However, I have to adapt to what's given. Okay? So I say 1 + 1 = infinity. If you have two techniques, you can combine them together in any which way that's possible for the situation itself. If this is a group fight, I gotta do something else. I can't stand here and fight him. Keep my awareness about me at all times. Move in a way that I need to move to get the hell out of there. Get to my car, go home. Any questions at all?
One more time.
One more time?
Yeah, we like to see.
It's in a spectator sport.
So, this is a variation that I taught at a seminar last week in Los Angeles to a bunch of security guys. If you can't even do the block at best, put your hands up. That's enough to give you some options in which to return or get out of there. Same thing, boom, right? And he's really hauling off at me. And all I've done is bring my hands up. I haven't done anything else yet. Yeah. I'm hitting points on him. That's a little more advanced. Just look. Even still, even when I'm in here, boom, I'm hitting points the entire way. Here too. Temple, base of the jaw, right? Carotid, back of the neck. Each and every one of those is a knockout blow. You can glance them sometimes. Not everybody's a Superman, right? You'd be amazed, you do the first technique, the person's knocked unconscious. What the hell? And you get out of there. You have no idea what happened. Next thing you're tripping over yourself because you're waiting to do your follow through and they're gone already. You know? So, boom, in here, boom, in there, boom, in there, right? Each one is an actual nerve strike. Let's say that's not a safe area. What do? Well, send him off into his buddies, get the hell out. Let's say that's not a safe area. Fine. If I need a hostage, fine. Take him. Send him out for 2. Right? I one time didn't tap at a demonstration, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I had a crazy jiu-jitsu instructor at the time. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going unconscious. What's going on? Okay, I'll go unconscious. All of a sudden here, tap out. So I'm very cautious with people who aren't my students because not everybody knows to tap to mean either too much, let go, stop what you're doing. That's universal. So if you're feeling too much, ouch doesn't always cut it. Make sure you tap. All martial artists should know what that means. All right, I'll start rough and joint warm-up exercises. Just a few things about safety. Everybody know to tap for pain? Not everybody knows that. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're yelling and screaming. You don't understand why. It's like, it's too much. You're like, oh, I'm sorry. Universal.
Tap
Quick tap. 1, 2, 3. Tap yourself. If you can't tap yourself, tap them. Tap something. Also, don't wait till you absolutely feel the locked on top of you. If you feel it's going in the correct direction, that's fine enough. Okay, don't feel the need to modulate through it. Joint damage is accumulative, not always acute. So over the course of the seminar, you can actually somewhat damage yourself just by working with different people. Some people are going to have stronger locks than others as well too. So just be in mind of that. Some people are more experienced. So as a result, if you really want to feel it, well, it might not work out very well for you. So just be aware of that. And none of us are getting younger. We want to preserve our joints for future practice also. It's a long-term game, not a short one. Right? If we're in combat mode where we're out in the battlefield, well, you know, we're not going to live anyway, so train any way you want to train. But for here, we're civilians, so we sort of have to protect ourselves and go to work the next day. Okay, everybody, take your palm facing towards you. Okay. Take your opposite hand, wrap your fingers around the inside of your palm. Thumb should be on the outside. You want to twist and then down. Okay. Twist and then down. Just do the face off 10 times. Just slowly, not too fast, don't jar it. When you're ready, switch, opposite side. Face, fingers on the inside of your palm, thumb on the outside, twist, and then down. And you can keep doing this throughout if you need to. Okay, shake it out. Okay. One palm facing the ground. Opposite hand directly over the top. Okay. Keep your elbows in, squeeze upward, and then back down. Okay, switch. Other side. So keep your elbows in tight. If you start doing this, you lose the stretch. Stop. Okay. Palm facing downward. Other palm over the top. Okay. Here, wrap your fingers in to the middle of your palm. You're going to stretch outward. Good. And switch. Other side. And outward. Check it out. Okay, last one. Finger stretch. The others you can do. These are the basics. Okay, palm facing you, opposite palm facing outward. Grab your fingers. Okay, stretch down. So let your arm go straight and forward. Okay. And it goes back to the stretch. Okay, switch, other side. Okay, good, and shake it out. There are other ones you can do as well too, inverted and like such. This kind of takes care of between this and this one, okay? You'll see other variations on the theme, but that basically gives your wrists, and your fingers the primer to start working out a good stretch. Right? We're just going to go over. We're going to go over some basics just to start. So I'm going to sort of give a primer on some things when it comes to locking, and we'll get more advanced as we go. And everybody's just going to sort of flow off each other throughout the seminar. Okay. When you guys work with each other, try and split up your partnerships. Don't work with the same person each and every time. Whenever we switch, find somebody new, new energy, new anatomy almost, in terms of how they're built. It's important as well too. You want to get a nice cross section of people, and everybody's going to be built exactly the same way. Okay. Oh, no, relax. We're not going to be fighting. Okay. I want to go into just the mechanics of a basic wrist lock. Kodagaishi in Japanese. I just call this a basic wrist turn. It's the most common lock that you'll see. All right, so what's going to happen is I'm going to basically invert my palm into theirs the same way that I'm doing to mine in the stretch. Relax. So I like to go off a relaxed position instead of a presentation, just for practice purposes, okay? So try not to offer, just let the person come into the technique themselves, okay? So inverted palm. You're going to slide down the forearm until you reach the stop point, which is going to be the wrist and the hand. Fingers are going to go down into the palm, thumb behind. We're going to twist up, taking off the slack. Now what's important here is that my structure remains consistent, that I'm not back here trying to do this, and I'm not up in here necessarily trying to smother him. I want to keep a nice distance, as if I could touch his shoulder in between us to here, okay? And I bring it back down the same exact way. I don't just drop it. Remain contact, back down. Other side, same thing. Back down, okay? You can bring the secondary in as well too. Take up the slack, secondary hand, just to here, okay? Those of you who want to, feel free to bring it down as well. So talk with your partner about that before you do, all right? When I go down for this particular technique, I go straight down. You can also go out as well too, but that's something for the next round. All right? Good.
Uh-oh, it's on now. He's gonna whip you with his belt.
Oh. Okay, so pick up the slack, slide in, take up the slack, and over the top, slightly down, okay? Other side, same thing, here, and then down. So make sure that you don't just drop it, replace. It's important for other things that come next. Slide, up, and back down. Up, and back down, okay? Just work that a couple times with your partners. Okay, go, guys. When you're inside here on this basic wrist turn, okay, I'm not a big fan of this, of the double 2-on-1. What I like to do is to have this hand free and mobile. So I will take up the slack on one side and use the other one here. Now, if you notice, this hand is actually pretty relaxed. It's not affected into this at all. My shoulders are down. Everything is in my center and relaxed for the downing, okay? This is basically going to do most of the work. This here is a secondary, but this might need to be used for other purposes as well too. So I like to have it nice and free and supple. So when you're in over the top, just use it as an extra. What's the word I'm looking for? Supplement. Thank you. To the technique itself. Okay. Other side, same thing. Use it as a supplement. This time I want you guys to bring each other just down to one knee and back up. Down to one knee. Make sure you tap if it's too much, okay? And down to one knee. All right? Good. New partners, go. I tried to get a cross section of people. Couple things with the technique itself. With all techniques, okay, the moment my shoulders ride up, I'm losing that much more of space into the technique itself, and I'm losing my structure. So you need to make sure that you keep your shoulders relaxed and down. The second my elbows start going out, same thing as well, I'm going outside of my center, I'm losing the technique itself, okay? So what I want to do is make sure that when I'm in the technique itself, that I'm losing as much air as possible in between my grip and their hand, okay? So I call this taking up the slack. Once the slack is taken up and the joint is taut, that's when I apply the technique. I don't want to do it in the midst of nothing going on. It has to be taut. Over the top, down. So what I want to do now is, and take your time with your partners, don't fall on top of them, don't slam them to the ground. We're just going to take up the slack here. I'm going to step to the outside, then I'm going to press down, bringing them down slowly to the ground. Okay? Same thing opposite side. Take up the slack here. As you walk, step, always outside first, step, bring the person down. What you want to do is you want to maintain the pressure consistently in the same direction. So if I'm going to go down, I want to consistently go down as I walk. Right. Here, step, down as I walk. If the person with you you're working with can't go down, make sure that you work that with them ahead of time. If you can't follow for any reason at all, back issues, whatever have you, just tell your partner. Don't let them find out as you're doing the technique itself, okay? Here, and down. All right, try that out. with my center the entire time.
Holy
He cut another direction, he has to do that. So don't take the high side. What we're doing here is isolated practice, right? So we're actually isolating a technique and just working on that particular aspect of it. This isn't necessarily self-defense, though I can't say I haven't grabbed people like that and thrown them to the ground before I have. It comes up a lot when you do nightclub security, especially. You know, people don't want to go somewhere, fine, boom, boom, you're going now. So it can work in that context, but really it's almost modular, right? I like to say 1 + 1 = infinity. You can combine any two techniques into infinite combinations of themselves. You're being too traditional. What's he doing outside? That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take one knee. Okay. So let's try this now. Okay. Grab, take up the slack. I'm going to step outwards on a 45-degree angle this direction. So I'm going to basically parallel him. Cross behind. I wasn't even going for that, but thank you. Make me look good, man.
Can you do that again so I can get it on film?
Oh, believe me, I'm doing it. Believe me, I'm doing it now. You want to take eyeballs? Ooh, good. Okay, so once again, from here, step on the 45. I'm gonna take the slack first. Step on the 45. Bring the hand over the top the same exact way. I'm gonna cross behind myself, and I'm gonna twist out, not leaving him behind. He's gonna stay with my center the entire time.
Holy
He cut another direction, he has to do that. So don't take the high fall this time so that people don't think I'm trying to kill each other. Okay, so pick up the slack, 45, here, cross behind, come down on one knee, and come down to the ground easily. If you can't fall, tell your partner, okay? But again, don't feel the need to sort of feel, and say, ow, 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 ow. This side, pick up the slack, 45, here, cross behind, bring the person down, have them occupy the space you just opened. It's the same technique you use if you're stepping in for a hip grip. They occupy the space you just opened. Here, cross behind, there. Notice I'm not letting go. I'm maintaining contact the entire time, and I'm stepping in on him, so he's not doing this and pulling me down on top of him. Okay? I'm here. This gives me options. You can see. All right, any questions? All right, try it out, new partners. A couple things came up, and Mike was noticing some stuff as well too. All right, so if you notice when I move, I'm not a very I've removed a lot of affectation, but it doesn't mean I've removed structure. So you don't see me a lot of times finishing stances like this, and you don't see me a lot of times really just overly concentrated on my partner. I'm there with them, I'm in the moment, but I'm keeping my surroundings aware. All right, it's part of the core full circle of philosophy of 360 awareness. At all times, I want to make sure that I'm not so focused on what I'm doing that I'm losing my surroundings and my back is being exposed unnecessarily. Okay, so as a result, I don't finish in a way that's like you know, sort of the traditional idea of right? When I step, my structure is still intact though. So, ever study any stance-heavy martial art? A lot of karate, kung fu styles. So a lot of styles are very stance-heavy. I had a lot of training in that particular manner. So it helps understanding how to move when I need to move in a more relaxed fashion. That's why we train stance work. It gives us some structure that makes it possible for relaxed motion. But you can't go the other way. You can't go from being relaxed all the time to all of a sudden having structure. So it has to be a balance between the two. When you guys do the technique here, and I'm up, make sure a couple things, that you're not turning like this and trying to do the technique. Feet are too close together, it's not going to work. I'm going to have to step out and then step out. So even if I'm here, look where I wind up, here. Then I take a step in to where the person is and I'm back to a relaxed step. But there are transitions to get here. Okay? So I can't just come here, and all of a sudden expect to have something, I'm off balance. So I step, right? Cross. It's still the same distance between myself. But along with the coordination with your body, boom, see, there I am. So let's add this. Once I'm down, what I want to do is I want to bring one knee down to the head. Now the person's going to fall and maybe in different positions than you want. So I'm not going to give you something exact to do, but I want to give you the concept of what you want to do. Straighten out the base arm, bring your opposite knee down into his head or into his armpit, whatever you're going to have at that particular moment. You're not always going to be guaranteed the same thing. Here. Keep this straight along your body. You shouldn't have let go here. Pull it up. All this obviously exposes all kinds of things, boom, that I can use to finish off the technique. And there's more advanced stuff as well too that we can possibly use in order to get him back onto his face. I don't think we have anybody who can, not many people can do that today anyway. All right, so here, down, in. All right, try it, work it out. Everybody ready? Okay, good. All right. Let's add something to this. Now, none of this precludes anything else happening before or after. This is what was happening when you happen to find yourself in this particular position. How you got there, that's a whole nother lesson. Right? But not necessarily, you can't always teach the context of how you got here. You just know you're here. The more you train these type of techniques, the more it is that that's just where you happen to be and your body knows where to go. So my body knows very well how to find a lock from just about any position that presents itself where the hand is open, even closed. It works with the fist as well too. That's fine. See? There it is. Even better somewhat, because now all of a sudden the tendons are tighter. Sometimes all of a sudden the hand's just out there and boom, there it is, you have it. And there's your technique, there's your kotegaeshi. Basic wrist turn. So, because we're not working that part today, just keep that in mind. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to find these things. Just like if you're a puncher, basically you can find the strike wherever it needs to be. You can't necessarily train for every single instance. Same thing with locks. They just are where they're going to be. How you got there? Well, that's a little too random to necessarily tell you how you got there. But when you find yourself there, you'll know what to do if you train it correctly. A lot of people don't understand locking because they don't train locking. It's a once in a blue moon kind of thing. So if you don't train it on a consistent basis, it doesn't become a reality for you. But even still, I'm not so attached to any lock that I have that I won't move on to something else if necessary. Just by the mere fact that I have this position, it puts him in a defensive posture. So the reaction a lot of times is this person will just try and pull back. Fine. I've got him on the go. Just by grabbing somebody, that changes up their energy entirely. So I ride that wave. Sometimes if the person pulls back, pull back slow. I ride the wave. I'm bringing him down. Pull back, sometimes fine. Right? I'll ride a different way completely. Depends on what's needed. We want to train for everything from an out-of-control child all the way to somebody like a monster trying to kill you. You want to have those options in between. So this technique can actually be very minimally invasive. Whoa, what you doing? To break everything on the way down. All right. That being said, let's just work another aspect of the technique itself. Down. So, at this particular spot, I want to get him over to his face. I don't want to necessarily have him with options where he can, one, pull me in, and for two, he can possibly reach for something and maybe shoot me, stab me, whatever have you. So, this is here. Again, this is why I said keep this taut, pick up the slack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step to his outside. 1, 2, and bring him over. Not on my foot, though. The slope worked against me. That's my excuse. Okay. Here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically take both hands on his still, keep up the slack. I'm going to step to the outside, and I'm going to turn this around as I go, bringing him face down. Which side did I go last time? Here, boom. Step, step, turn it around. Okay? Now sometimes the person, they don't want to turn over. Fine. What I'm using here is the structure of the wrist in the same fashion to actually bring some compliance to the situation. So once I'm here and he doesn't want to turn, fine, I'm going to cut this way, which is going to keep him turning over. Give him some incentive to go. If at that point he doesn't want to go, fine, out he'll go. But I want to have the option in between not to have to do him in if necessary. So I'll say at this point, get your hand out, get your hand out, get your hand out. Okay, good. I know he's tapping, I can hear him. But I'm talking in reality, if a person will not get their hand out, I'm going to tell them, get your hand out so I can see it.
Lisa, hand the feet.
I know, it's awesome. I'm actually not doing anything at the moment, but it's actually really close to that. If I just lean in, there it is right there. Okay, so once again.
He's a friend of yours.
We take the same class with Mike. He just happens to have some following experience. So I like doing it sometimes. Okay. Step around, boom. Turn it in, and then down. Okay. And his arms are a little shorter, so it changes things a little bit. I can't necessarily keep him where I want to keep him, so I'm riding down a bit more. Last time, here. So step around the head, turn this in, okay, and then down. I like to have this hands free. Yeah. Okay. And if I just press down, there it is, or the brakes here. Right. Okay, try it. I can talk about it all day. I'll come around and help. Okay, new partners, go.
Yep, my pleasure.
Okay. I honestly think we need about 4 hours to do each section in these type of things, George. Because the reality is, I just scratched the surface of part of one lesson. I mean, it's not even the full thing. But this gives a good primer, basically, on some structure that we're going to go into later on with everybody else. So everything we did pretty much is universal to the process of learning how to do joint-based techniques. At least we're only working on one joint, or maybe two, because we work on the elbow a little bit as well, too. And 3 if we include the shoulder also. We're doing this the nicest way possible, I guess is what you can say. Mike and Mike have been telling us a couple of war stories as we go. Just bouncing the person off your, heads off your knee as you go down, all kinds of stuff, right? So you can be really nasty with these type of things. But you have to start from somewhere. If you start with nasty, then that's all you know. You don't know anything else. So you have to start basically from an open structure, and then we can add nasty techniques in as we go. So, again, I don't care here. I might cut this directly down that way as I go. Much harder on the joint. Much harder to practice in class all the time for advanced, okay? Again, I might just come this way and bring the person back. But I don't know how to do that unless I know how to do the other. It's a very subtle hip motion that's going on here. Hips are here, fine. Hips are here. Just back slightly. Again, same things work. Come around. Just by leading in a similar direction. And now I'm using fingers instead. Sometimes I worry you're going to break because you love to feel it so much. This might actually come from here first before I actually apply the technique. All right? Even still, we might be here first before I slide down and apply something else. And down. I might, as they come down, boom, there, boom, here, there, right? Get in here. Because I'm in the position, I have lots of options. Right? Here, here. And you notice at all times, I'm in a better position than he is. I'm up, he's down. Everything in mind is pointed directly at him. He actually will have to reach to get me. And that's what I want. So, preferably, I'm on the outside of him, not on the inside. If I want to go to the inside of him, I want to make sure that once again I get to the outside. I don't want to stand here like this, because now who's in a better position? He is. And if I drop down into him, all he's got to do is extend his hand right into my groin. So as a result, if I'm on this side, I want him face down as possible. All right. Any questions at all? Any questions? All right, cool. That's my section. I think, oh, he's right there. He's filming me.